Come on in. I'll explain everything. 1 year ago this month, I sold my house, I quit my job, I sold my car, and I moved from America to the Balkans. For 10 months, I was homeless, living out of the back of a Yugo, traveling from country to country. We ended up putting now 50,000 kilometers on that Yugo. If you think this is bad, you should see the cars in Slovenia. They're all terrible. We drove it all the way to France.
Finally made it out of the Balkans. Welcome to the Swiss Alps.
How did you drive the Yugo to the Swiss Alps?
Well, I got him.
Now, a year later, from this all starting, I have a home, and I've got a few cars, and life is good. It's amazing coming here with basically nothing to see how much has happened, how much I've earned, the people I've met, the things I've seen. And so today, I'm gonna kind of let you in a little bit into my life, how it is today. It changes so fast, but as of right now, I'm gonna give you guys a tour of the apartment that we basically just got here in Zagreb, Croatia. This is an office area. I haven't used it very much. I'm gonna show you my cars. It's got some issues. It's not perfect. I bought it very used. And we're going to have a barbecue here at my place. I've got a bunch of friends from church that I invited over, and we're gonna prep for that. There's meat inside. The guests will enjoy it or die. I don't know how to cook, and I have never had maybe more than 2 people over to my house ever. So, subscribe, here we go. So this apartment actually has 2 floors. I used to think when I was a kid, if you had stairs in your house, you were rich. So I guess I've got stairs now. This is an office area. I haven't used it very much, but we're gonna decorate it and fill it with some things. This is a spare bedroom, which I don't know exactly what we're gonna do with that either. My business partner, Petar, this is his room. We'll keep it a secret. This is the place. I don't know what to tell you. What do you guys think? I could use some decorating. I've got empty shelves everywhere. We moved in about a little over 2 months ago, but we've only spent maybe a total of a week and a half in here because we're always on the road, or at least I am. Now that I'm back, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do to make it look nice. So any suggestions, put them in the comments. Now I'm gonna show you guys my cars. So here she is, all reliable. This car is a 1997 Yugo Tempo 1.1. A lot of people think that it's a Yugo 45 because it looks like it's a Yugo 45, but it's not. You'll find that the story behind this, and I never got a chance to explain this to people before because I've never done long-form videos, but this car was given as a gift to an American businessman in '97. Essentially, Zastava owed him some money, and they didn't have the money to pay him, so they gave him this car instead. And they gave it to him in the best spec and the best trim they could find. So it's got these plastic runners, which is what the Yugo GVX had only in the United States. They probably just had the parts lying around. They painted it in this gold metallic color, which came like this from the factory, which is crazy. You don't see a lot of gold metallic Yugos because it was an option. It cost extra. And this is the cheapest car money can buy. Why would I spend extra on a paint color? Crazy story. You cannot get into this car by unlocking either of the doors. I have to do it through the trunk because when our keys were stolen a few weeks ago, that was in a YouTube video, we couldn't get a replacement key for the doors. So that's how we do it. That's how we lock and unlock the doors. We've got all sorts of random stuff in the trunk. There's a pillow, a cheap toolkit, an extra battery. We're always trying to make sure we're prepared with this thing, but we never really have to be. We keep up on our maintenance as best as we can. So these seats used to be in perfect condition, but since I've been sitting in them and all the passengers and all of that, they started to get kind of torn up. I don't know. I'd like to, at some point, give this thing a proper, like, restoration, you know? We're also thinking about putting a bigger engine in it. It has a 1.1 liter. We were thinking about putting a 1.5 in it. But if we do that, you guys aren't going to hear about it because then we wouldn't be able to register the car. So just know, if the Yugo's faster, let's look under the hood. I don't know. What do we want to see? Super quick. Let me show you something in the door. I made a video. My license plates were stolen, and my car was keyed here in Zagreb. This car. And look what they carved into my door. I don't know if you can see this on the camera very well, but it is a logo for a popular football club in the area. Sorry, guys. You're never going to get me rooting for your team that way. Go Hajduk. The engine is so small, the spare tire goes up here. Makes about 55 horsepower from the factory, but it probably makes less these days. But it's bulletproof. Starts every time. Has gotten us through snow and rain and heat and everything. Made it from Belgrade to Zagreb without a hitch. Let's see what's in the garage. This is the newest member of my car family, and it's my Ford Mustang. I bought this car 1 year ago. Exactly. I bought it in July of last year, and it just arrived on the boat about 2 months ago, about the same time I got this apartment. It's got some issues. It's not perfect. I bought it very used, 170,000 kilometers on it, and it needs to be washed. This car barely fits in this garage. Twice I have scraped it getting in, trying to turn in, and I also smashed out the taillight backing in. This car is extremely difficult to see out of. It's not built for European streets. However, it's a fabulous car. I really love driving it. It's extremely fun. It's fast. It's cool. It's comfortable as compared to the Yugo. But of course, you'll find that we drive the Yugo much more often because it's more practical. Has more space in the back seat, has more trunk space, and there's less concern about what might happen to it if we drive it. But another thing, a lot of people think that, oh my God, Justice has a Mustang. This guy's rolling in it. He makes tons of money. Loans are very different in the United States than they are in Europe. The bank owns this car. But being 23, at the time, I was 22 when I bought this car. It's really easy to get a loan on a car in the United States. And so that's what I did. Could have I bought this car here in Europe? Absolutely not. I bought it in the United States, put it on a boat, shipped it over. America. Let's show you what's behind door number 3. One of my favorite parts about the Yugo is you have to pull the choke. I have never driven a car with a choke before. Heck yeah. It's louder than the Mustang. That's actually true. Like, it has more engine noise. And behind door number 3, this is the main reason we actually picked this apartment, is because it has a garage. Cars is such a big part of the content that I make that it's really important that we have a place to park them. Yugo number 2, the Yugo Florida. This is, hands down, the worst car I have ever owned. It's not even close. Our gold Yugo, that thing is near and dear to my heart. It's perfect. It's super reliable. It's fun. It's flashy. It's everything. And it's cheap. Everything about it. This car is a piece of garbage. It is made of toothpicks and wood, and everything breaks. It's extremely unreliable. It just has issues on issues on issues. This Yugo, we put 50,000 kilometers on. This Yugo Florida, when we bought it, had 50,000 kilometers on it. That's it. We bought it from the original owner, a little old lady who was so old she couldn't drive it anymore. It's been a nightmare. On paper, it's better than the Yugo in every way. It's got almost double the horsepower. It's got, this one has a Peugeot engine instead of a Yugoslav one. You think that would be more reliable. It has 4 doors, larger back seats, more trunk space, more speakers, so better sound. It should have better steering. It should have everything. Everything should be better on this car, and it's just, it couldn't be further from the truth. So this is one of the cars you've seen the least on my page, and it's because it's always broken and we're afraid to drive it because we might get stranded or something. Now, we're off to get barbecue supplies, and I'm going to have to learn how to throw an actual Balkan barbecue so I don't disappoint my guests. I think we're gonna take the Florida. Let's see how it does. Things that have broken in this car would be the key doesn't turn half the time, the glove box broke, surprisingly it's staying up, but the tumbler broke, so we have a hammer in the passenger seat to smash the key in to get the tumbler to work, so it'll actually start. We'll see how it does. Starts! Let's go, baby! I think what's so disappointing about this car is instantly when you sit inside, you can feel improvements over the Yugo. One of the things is shifts awful. I got it. We're not gonna crash today, boys. I can feel instant improvements to the Yugo, where it's like, oh, it's more comfortable, it has more space, it has more headroom, it has more visibility. But then you drive it, and it's just like, yuck. There's a soft spot in my heart for old broken things, yeah, in general. And it could be just because I'm trying to make my life harder than it has to be. But whether it be here in the Balkans or in the United States, I was always buying old crappy cars just for the fun of it. And usually I would buy them broken, I would fix them and sell them for a profit. And that's kind of been my game. However, now I'm just a hoarder. I just buy cars and I don't get rid of them. I wish I could tell you that the 3 cars I've shown you are the only cars I own, but unfortunately I own 2 others. 2 old Zastava vans, and I own 2 mopeds, which if you go back on my page, you would see. Every bump we go over in this thing is scary because I'm afraid something's gonna fall off or break. Unfortunately, I think you guys are gonna be seeing this car a lot this summer because it has the most space and we plan to do quite a lot of travel. The Mustang only comfortably seats 2, and usually we're gonna be traveling with a minimum of 3, so. Florida! You know what the best feature about this car is, though? It has a key fob, power locks. Ha ha! You know, a lot of people are like, you have the dream job, and I do. I have my dream job for sure. There's nothing I'd rather be doing, and there's no place in the world I'd rather be doing it. But man, is it a lot of work. I mean, think about this. We drove 50,000 kilometers in a Yugo. Who drives 50,000 kilometers even in a year in general? The amount of travel that comes with this is quite exhausting. I figure we've got this apartment and a place to park the cars, but I bet in a year we'll probably spend a total of 3 months there. The rest is going to be on the road. We're actually trying to figure out exactly where we're going to go next right now, so if you guys have any suggestions, leave it in the comments. I'm always open to hear things. You know, the fans is kind of what dictates what I do all the time. I'm always reading comments. I'm always looking at what people are saying, and that's where most great video ideas come from. So be a part of this. We're entering the supermarket to see what we can find. I'm thinking we're gonna buy the meat, we're gonna buy some bread, we're gonna buy some stuff for a salad. Not psych, no salad. We're gonna find out. I let Alex drive because I wanted him to experience the Florida in all of its glory.
Amazing car.
Is it the worst car you've ever driven?
Definitely not. I've driven Wartburg, Wartburg is the worst car that I've driven, and it's also a second worst car in the history of cars.
What's the first?
The first one is of course Trabant.
Trabant. Well, for me, as of right now, this is the worst car I've ever driven. I don't think I've ever owned. The driving experience could be worse. The worst car I've ever driven was actually a Volkswagen T2 Transporter from the 1971. That car, dangerous, slow, everything. But this is the worst car I've ever owned. At least the Volkswagen looked cool. So we wanted to film inside the supermarket, but they were playing copyrighted music, so we couldn't. Here's what we bought at Linda. We got some cevapi. We got some chicken legs. More cevapi. Pork chops. I believe this is a zucchini. Tomatoes. Mladi luk, the spring onions. 2 loaves of bread. This is the one I like, but apparently it's made from corn, so we got a different type as well. This is how we do it. Where's the sauce? Where's the whatever? No. Just throw this on the grill and we just salt and pepper, baby. Let's take a look out on the balcony, shall we? Ah, yes. Can you see through that? Look at this. Look at what we got here. There's meat inside. The guests will enjoy it or die. Let's see what's inside. How hot is this? Fire. Look. Don't melt your camera. Yeah, I'm sure you're jealous. And this is the aftermath of a good old-fashioned Balkan barbecue. I had like 8 people over, some new, some old friends. I'm so unused to being a host. We just got caught up in everything and we forgot to film. So, barbecue success, life success. I love it here. I'm having a great time and we'll continue to have a great time. So, have a great time with us. Subscribe.